Sisaciem, 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 sisaciem. Yachcow hi, yachcow hi, yachcow hi, yachcow hi. Hi, and good evening. Welcome to the Spirit Drum. I'm Chris Sutton.
That was fantastic.
I was singing along to the song, and all of a sudden we entered. And my co-host is
Sharla Hardin.
And tonight on the Spirit Drum, we have my friend of many talents, and wait till you hear how many talents she has. What are you laughing about? Yeah, okay. So anyway, so I wanted to make, not take any more time here and introduce our guest. This is Tinamarie Ronan. How are you tonight, my dear?
Very well. And yourselves?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
So, how you dealing with all this? It's something that we've been talking with most of our guests in the last couple of months. How you dealing with the COVID stuff and everything? I mean, how has it affected you?
Not easy. I am a people person, so the first couple of weeks were really, really rough for me. My daughter's a teacher down in Terre Haute, Indiana, so when she had spring break, it just continued on for the next 6 months now. So she actually came up to visit for about 2 months, which made it a lot easier, but it was rough for a while. And then when things were really hitting the fan there in the beginning, it was hard to sleep because I was picking up on everybody else around me, everybody that was thinking or getting worried or their anxiety. It took me a while to kind of settle down, get back into the flow of things, let it all go. So yeah, that one was a little rough.
So yeah, I get it. It's like if you're empathic and you got all this fear and anger. I mean, it's the last year or so has been rough anyway for if you're an empath or something or psychic or whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I know Charlotte's felt it. I felt it. So I mean, it's tough. I mean, and so to keep yourself straight, and then I know I have to do certain things to keep myself straight, my thinking correct, because all this stuff's coming in. So what do you do personally, to deal with that type of negative energy?
I do a lot of meditating, but I work with a lot of crystals, rocks, and stones. Yeah. So when things are at their worst, I head down to my studio and I just go to work. I work with the crystals and the rocks and the stones, and it just seems to even me all out.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I mean, I go out and slay cats myself, but I no.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay.
Bob heard that.
I've only been driven mildly mad by this whole thing. So I would really just have a rough time at times.
I'll tell you what. When things are at their worst, and I really need to get some energy out. I probably do something you didn't even know. I drum. I actually have my own drum. And I drum, and nobody's home but my husband. He's working downstairs, and every once in a while he'll come up and go, "Could you tone it down just a wee bit, a wee bit on the conference?" But I'll just go to town on the drum, get it all out, and then I'm good again.
It's good therapy, isn't it?
Oh yes, I love it.
Therapy, and it really helps to connect with that heart sound and that heart rhythm. I think it really brings me back to center. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Tina's quite used to making. She just doesn't have these stones. Okay, she makes things with them, and I've got on my.
Ooh! Oh wow, that's beautiful.
I got my one too. Can't see it tonight. Yep, there's mine.
And the reason it caught my eye, for one thing, it looked cool. There's good energy to it, but but she makes stuff that it's like. It's got a section for practitioners only. If you're just buying jewelry, you can't go into that section. You gotta be working on stuff.
You can, but I talk to people and I'm like, you're like that one. Yeah, Yes, well, let me tell you what it really can do for you. And are you a practitioner? And I'll explain to them what it's for. Some people are like, well, it's just pretty. Okay, then buy it because it's pretty for you. But if you're somebody who, like what Chris has on is a shamanic combo, and it's specifically put together for that reason with those stones. So, yeah, you got blue kyanite there. You got chrysotile. Now, he's got, I think it's turquoise, and I can't remember which other stone was. Chris, I can't see it.
Yeah.
Is that tiger eye on the top?
No, I don't think so.
Blue
Hold
is
it up,
clear. It's
hold
like
it up a
crystal.
little. Hold it up. Yeah.
Is it a quartz? No, maybe it's just quartz. It's a quartz.
Yeah, it's quartz.
Yeah. And now, see, I've got the same combo, but mine's a little bit different. I have on preonite and angelite with mine. Those are two that help me because preonite's a good stone for to help heal the healer. And I am a Reiki master teacher, so that is one of my go-to stones is preonite.
Actually, I'm gonna have to make a note of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm kind of going backwards here, but so you as a practitioner, Reiki practitioner, so you deal with the energies. So when you make your creations, I'm not just going to call them jewelry because it's more than that. You just kind of get under the influence and commune.
Yes, times. Yes, there are times. There are times when I just make something pretty, but it still has function. But there are times, especially when I have someone who wants a custom piece for a specific reason. Their back aches all the time. They have arthritis in their fingers, or they're really struggling to be around people that they work with. I pull the stones that I feel would be best for them, knowing what the metaphysical properties are of those stones. And then I will start to put them together. And then I just kind of relax and take a deep breath and just let go and let spirit take over. And the next thing you know, the necklace I was going to make, I will look down and I will have a bracelet that's done. And sometimes with stones I did not pull with. So they stones that they thought would be better for this person. Yeah. So, and it ends up being that is exactly what that person needs. So
do you listen to any music while you're working?
Sometimes you would be amazed. Sometimes it is metaphysical type music. Then there are times where I just want some heavy metal playing. Saturday night, and I'm working with some obsidian and some hematite, and woo, there,
rocking it out.
Yeah. And I thought I was the one who listened to Metallica on the way to a gig or something, or to an investigation.
Hey, Chris, I want to take a second just to acknowledge a couple folks who are in the chat right now.
Sure.
We have Carol, Lewis, Deb, and Fu. Fu is actually logging in from Taiwan.
Nice.
So yes.
Cool.
Very exciting. But thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Yeah, everybody.
And if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. And Darren Buss. Hey, Darren.
Hi, Darren.
Pop them in the chat, and we'll ask them for you.
Yeah, and I've got over at my chat room I'm looking at, we've got Jamie Lyons has joined us and Tracy Courtney. Thank you very much.
Jamie, hey, Tracy.
So we're on like about 5 different, we're on Facebook and then other places, I guess YouTube, and so
nice.
Wherever you can find us, that's okay. So yeah, and it's like that's another thing Tina and I have in common is music, and her husband. We like the heavier stuff sometimes, and so not too many people do. I mean, it's what's the thing about the paranormal and the spiritual field? Everybody's so different that people probably think of me. I just listen to drum music all the time. No, the only time I listen to drum music basically is when I'm drumming, and other times I'm listening to everything else. So. I do. So if I want to learn new songs and things like that, I will. But, yep.
So Tina, I have a question for you. With everything that's kind of going on in our world, and so much uncertainty and chaos, and folks just not knowing how to feel, and I guess a lot of stress and anxiety that comes along with that. What would be a good stone for them to carry or to have with them, or to obtain in a piece of jewelry that they could wear?
Tiger's Eye is one that is kind of very calming for a lot of people. Another one that I do like that can help with that is also, again, the angel light that helps you with contact with angels, but it's a very calming stone. It's one that brings peace within the mind. I'm trying to think if there's a couple others. Straight up quartz, you probably actually want to, if you're somebody who is really struggling with a lot of stress and anxiety, believe it or not, you probably actually want to stay away from clear quartz because that is an amplifier, and that just might make things a little bit worse for you. So go with something like tiger's eye or angelite, or if someone is really, really struggling with things at home within themselves, rose quartz. Rose quartz teaches you to love yourself because you cannot truly love someone else until you've learned to love yourself first.
Very true. It's interesting. My daughter had a piece of rose quartz recently, and I don't know why. It's just never been one of my favorites, but all of a sudden it has become one of my favorites. It's so beautiful. And, I find myself just staring at it, turning it over and looking at every side of it. And just, I don't know, there's just a sense of love, and it's a really nice stone.
Yeah. The stones work for you when they're supposed to. Yes. There are times when you will walk into a store that has all those pretty little rock stones and crystals, and there'll just be one that is probably the ugliest stone in there, and you want nothing to do with it, but you can't get it off your mind. You keep going back to it. You keep picking it up. You are meant to have that stone for a reason. So, yeah.
I agree. That's how I buy. That's how anything hooks me. No. I just see it. And I just know.
You're pretty much like that, though, like with everything, though, right?
Almost. Yeah. Cars, usually, yeah. But no. I it's if I shopped the way I shop material stuff like I did spiritual stuff, I probably wouldn't have a whole lot because if I'd have to be moved emotionally by it and whatnot. So I'm a separate in here. But yeah, no, it's like, and this is exact. I mean, I just feel, I don't go looking for anything anymore. I just go into the shop I go into, and I gotta have there. I go to an event. I got this big old chunk of selenite in Kansas City one time, and I could have bought it from my friend, and who I always buy from, or if I don't buy from Tinamarie, because I always buy from her too when I see her. But you don't live in town, so I can't just.
No, I don't.
I see her. So it's just that was a piece. It's not just because it was selenite, because it was that piece of selenite. And I have it. And the same thing with the with my thing here. I looked at it, so I had to have it. She could have jacked the price on me and everything. I would say, I just kept throwing money at her.
But see, that's one of the things I try to stay with between $25 to $40 for a piece. I try not to ever go over 40 because I want them to be pieces that everybody could purchase. Anybody and everybody. I try and stay within a good budget for everyone.
Yeah, that is true. It's not.
Carol said that amethyst and hematite are her favorite rock anchors.
Oh, yeah.
And Tracy said she understands moonstone is calming, and if so, she needs a huge chunk.
It can be calming, but for a woman, still in your middle years there, just keep in mind, moonstone does amp up during the full moon, and unless you're ready to handle those energies, it may not be something you should wear at that time.
At my age right now, the phase of life I'm in, I don't think I need any more of that. I don't need to amp. I need to calm. You got anything that cools you off?
You two girls just want to talk. This is probably not for me.
Oh gosh.
Oh, good.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Where's Julia? Get her in here.
No, Julia's in bed. Mrs. Cowdy's in bed by this time. It is time for our first break, so we'll be back. You're watching the Spirit Drama, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Do you feel lost in life? Do you seem to be stuck in emotions that are not yours? Is your home not the sanctuary it should be? Contact Spirit Mechanics, where they take a team approach to your metaphysical and spiritual problems. Spirit Mechanics specializes in aura cleansing, stone attunement, attachment removal, and house cleansings. Spirit Mechanics tailors their approach to your individual spiritual path and needs. Now find them monthly at the Central Kentucky Mystical Market in Lexington. Or on Facebook by searching Spirit Mechanics, that's MECHANIX. Spirit Mechanics, for your spiritual health and well-being.
And we're back with the Spirit Drum. Thanks for joining us. Our guest, Tinamarie Ronan, she is a master of many things. And the next thing we just talked about, her wonderful making of, for lack of a better word, let's say it's spiritual jewelry. But she's also a Reiki master. This is the next thing that we're gonna go into view with her. Now, I got to tell you something, Sharla. This is something she and I, that Tinamarie and I talked about before. She's going to be combining some stuff, and we're going to talk about that at the very end. It's really cool.
Ooh, very cool. So, Can't wait.
But so, Master Reiki person, how did you find the Reiki path?
How did I find Reiki? Well, Reiki actually found me.
Yeah.
I am a paranormal investigator. I have been investigating for over 17 years. And I knew I had gift even as a child because my grandmother had gift. My mother had gift, but wanted nothing to do with it. And then, growing up, they were always like, shh, shh, don't tell anybody. Because, it was the late 60s, early 70s, you don't talk about that. I knew I'd gift, but I didn't know how to use it. When I first started ghost hunting, I had gone to a training, state training with the group I was with, and I met somebody else who was teaching a class on psychic ghost hunting. And after the class, I went up to her and talked to her, and I said, I got to ask you a question. I said, have you ever heard of anybody who pops a light bulb? She goes, oh, yeah, I pop light bulbs all the time. I'm going, oh, thank God I found somebody who knows what I'm talking about. And I started to work with Jen, and when we were doing all kinds of different psychic training, she kept saying, you really should do Reiki. This is something you should do. She goes, you're just meant to do Reiki. I said, yeah, okay, not my thing, don't want to do it. Well, about a year goes by, and I went to a spirit circle with one of my friends. In fact, he used to be the co-host on my radio show, Rick. And at the end of his spirit circle, everybody was leaving. He goes, just stay here for a minute. Just stay here. I got to talk to you. Everybody leaves, and he goes, you and I have been friends for years. He goes, but when I look at your hands, they're like rainbows. He goes, do you do Reiki? I'm like, no, I don't do Reiki. Not a month later, I went to somebody who does readings because other than Rick and Spirit Circles, I'd never gone to a reading, wanted to see what it was like. So I went. After the reading, I'm leaving. The girl goes, I got to ask. She goes, are you a healer? Do you do Reiki? Because your hands are just lit up. They're like rainbows. I just want to know. I'm like, no, but apparently I'm going to be. So I just, I left. I walked outside, looked up, and I just said, all right, I hear you. I get the message. I'll do Reiki. Because apparently the universe was not going to let me go. And I called my friend Jen and I said, okay, I'm ready. Didn't even have to tell her what. She goes, well, it's about time. So I started with her and became a Reiki master teacher back in 2010. I had no intention of teaching. By 2011, universe said, yeah. And then I started teaching. So I really fought my path, but I am very, very glad that I have. I have quite a few masters right now, a couple other people in different levels, but I have a good group of people, and we stay in touch, and we work with each other and help each other. They go through different books and say, hey, I read this, let's all read this and let's talk about it. So it's a great group of people and they help each other. And if there's something they run into while they're working on a client, they know they can either call me or someone else within the group and say, hey, I've run into this. What have you done? So we work together.
Right.
So we started our own little Reiki community and it's great. We take care of each other and those around us and do what we can. So there's my Reiki story.
Oh, goodness. So, good, you do Reiki. Okay, you know how to do Reiki. What do you do with it?
Well, I do have clients that come in and I do Reiki on them. Like I said, I'm also a teacher, so I teach Reiki. I don't use it too much in the way for ghost hunting, but I will say, having gone through the attunements, it did also give me gifts, ones that I didn't have what I was born with, some different ones. One of them is the gift of smell. So Walmart is horrible for me. I cannot stand going into Walmart. But there are times when I'll go into an investigation and I can tell that, grandmom used to bake gingerbread all the time. Dad made us smoke this type of cigar, or maybe he drank his type of favorite whiskey because I can smell it. I can smell it as though they're right there in front of me, tasting it, baking it, different things like that. I went into a theater one time and we were doing an investigation and I asked the manager, I said, you guys had a fire here, didn't you? And apparently back in the 30s, they did. They had a fire there, but it wasn't well known. So, yeah.
Interesting.
So it goes both sides. You have the good and the bad with it.
Darren Buss would like to know, what is the best stone for mild vertigo?
Oh, that would be one I would have to look up. But I'll tell you what, if you go to my page, it's on Facebook. It's Nature's Earth Ware, WARE. And was that Darren that you said?
Yes.
Okay, Darren, I will look up what I need to look up for vertigo. And I promise you I'll get that posted sometime tomorrow. What stone would be good for vertigo. So I promise I'll take care of that. Nature's Earth Ware, WARE, on Facebook, and I will put something up there just for you, Darren.
Awesome. And Dan Class said, when we're at events, Chris, you go looking for beer after the investigation.
I know, Dan.
What do you mean go looking for? I've already got it.
He said he wants to start talking about whiskey, steaks, and beer.
Last time I was in Hinsdale, I brought a bottle of Maker's with me, Maker's Mark, and so yes, I know of which he speaks. But usually Dan and I go to some seedy liquor store and pick up beer before so we'll have it when we get back and stuff, and so.
That's one of the things that cracks me up. People go to these different shows or they talk to different people who are supposed to be, spiritual, metaphysical. Hey, we have fun and party too and listen to heavy metal music. We're real people.
I went through this phase after I first, got on my path where, I was originally, I was taught by people who did Lakota medicine, Sioux medicine. And those guys, the old shaman, the old teachers, they were, weren't about alcohol and stuff because, there's also a reason for that because the reservations, you have so much trouble with alcohol that a lot of the medicine people was like, no, it's just, this guy got like Lame Deer who drank all the time, but everybody's kind of different. So, but yeah, mostly I was talking about people. So for months, I didn't, I was like, tried to I was supposed to act like a certain person and I wasn't being me. And because this had happened, I thought, so, okay, I've got to clean up my act. And then I realized after a while, because I didn't feel right, so I'm not being genuine. I can still do what I do but still be who I am, if it means having a few beers, just, act like a reprobate, basically, which I don't anymore. What? No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the universe takes care of you if you try and mess around too much. Yeah, it puts you back in your place. But yeah, we're still real people.
Yeah, and like I said, it's same with the paranormal folks. It's the same thing. Everybody's pretty real and themselves and whatnot. But yeah, people always look at you.
Agreed.
I go try to give some inspiring talk and sing some songs and stuff like that, and say all this stuff, and you see me in the bar, So
whooping
that's what's good about the Coyote name. People think I'm supposed to be screwing up like that, so it's all good, So.
So you had mentioned you had been investigating for 17 years, and Darren has a question, and he would like to know, what's been your toughest investigation?
Wow, toughest. Well, believe it or not, I actually did some test runs for some television stations out there, and when we went and did that, they were filming, and it was a home. It was a mom with 2 kids. There was a male ghost there that was really just terrorizing the kids terribly. And then the worst part was there was something in the basement. We knew that. We could all feel it. And I was the only one there really with gifts at that time for that investigation. And I walked downstairs, and it was the very first time for me that I actually found a doorway or a portal. And but I had never come across one before. It seemed all innocent, but I knew that if I walked to that wall with conviction, like I was going to go through it, I would have. It was that plainly there. And everybody else just kind of like, you could see the hair when they got close to the wall, their hair would stand up on their arms. They couldn't understand why. And I'm like, okay, here's what's going on. Later in the evening, at the very end of the investigation, the cameras are on. It was pitch black in there, and they were going to do a group EVP in front of the doorway. The second the cameras started rolling, the lights were off, things came through there that were just not nice. Let's just put it that. It was bad because instantly 4 of us were attacked. It was one of the few times I was wondering if I was going to make it out alive. We actually felt as though there was something behind us shoving their hands within us. I could actually, when I put my hand down on the front of myself, I could actually feel knuckles on the inside of my skin. It felt like it was trying to tear us apart. 3 of the women, besides myself, that were attacked like that, they fell to their knees. One started vomiting. The other one just fell to her knees. They shut off the cameras. They flipped on the lights. One girl got carried out. The other one, who was still very ill, was carried out and taken to the emergency room. There were 2 other people that became very ill. I made it out. I didn't fall to my knees, but I came close. And I went upstairs, and they're like, man, you look like you're half dead. You're pure white. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel so good. And I am diabetic, and I tested my sugar, and it was down to 52. I have no idea why I did not pass out. I'm like going, Mountain Dew, Snickers, anything. Yes. So it was really bad. There were some other things that went on, but they shut down production, and that was the end of it. The production crew refused to come back. So that was over and done with. So yeah, that one was not a good one. The male ghost, I intimidated enough that he just seemed to settle down. But as for closing the portal, I'd never done that. I had somebody that I got in touch with that did her very best remotely that she could do. But even she said, you know what, this one's really strong. She said, for now, it's a Band-Aid on this side. Let's just hope it holds for a while. So
yeah, sometimes they're better off left alone than trying to mess with them too.
Yeah, so. But this was bad. Oh, yeah, that one still gives me nightmares.
Tracy said she is still trying to figure out what a portal is exactly.
It's a way from here to somewhere else. It's as if there's an opening between here and somewhere else, whether it's another universe, another world, another anything. What's your definition, Chris?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but also it's something else I only wanted to add to is that one theory is that when these things blow open, because there's, for you to transverse between universes or realms or whatever, you got to have energy to do it. You just can't do it. Look at wormholes in space, that type of stuff. You have to have energy, and so to me, there's like a radiation burst when they come through, and so that's what kind of ones that makes them hard to get rid of if they can do that kind of thing. But two, and this is something I started thinking about because a friend of mine mentioned one time that a lot of people who work or do a lot of paranormal investigating or like work as a guide in these places get sick. Like how you got leached when you were at that one place. I mean, I know 2 or 3 that have died from cancer, and it's just really. I knew somebody worked on the Queen Mary. They had neurological problems, and it's just there's a lot of powerful things out there now. We go looking for them. So a lot of people don't find them. If they do, they're not quite sure. They just get a funny feeling when they hit these things, these portals and whatnot. I've worked with people on that sort of thing. But I mean, they're there whether we want them or not, and there's things passing through them, and they really affect some people. I had to work with one lady. She ended up moving because she had a portal halfway through her bedroom, right where she slept, and so I had ants. I felt like I had ants in my arms when I found it. And so she ended up moving like to the next state over, which was she's a lot better now. I talk to her once in a while. She's an artist and stuff, so she was really messed up by the whole thing. But that'd be portals. Yeah, that's that whole thing about things attacking you. I was getting mad. You just talking about it. I hate seeing that stuff. It's disrespectful.
I contacted Christina Rake, and she goes, "Oh, honey, none of that sounds good."
Yep. No, and Christina would know too. So,
yes,
she's a great
it was
lady.
Not good.
Yeah, I'll bet it was.
That was probably the only time, like I said, that I actually feared for my life.
Yeah,
but that's maybe 2 times in 17 years. So it's not as people
those are good odds.
Oh yes. Well, on that positive note, we're going to go to our next commercial break. You're watching The Spirit Drum. We'll be right back.
Everyone is talking about CBD oil, and it seems like almost everyone is using it. The research is ongoing, but the apparent health benefits are overwhelming. If you're going to use CBD products, though, what brand should you buy? First, find out where the hemp was grown. Imports are flooding the market. How potent is it? Look for a brand that plainly states its concentration on the label. And look for full spectrum CBD. This means the oil contains CBD and all the other cannabinoids, terpenes, and nutrients that are found in the entire cannabis plant. Look for Blue Leaf CBD oil. Blue Leaf Naturals is a Kentucky proud company. They use only Kentucky-grown hemp, supporting Kentucky farmers and businesses. Visit their website at blueleafcbd.com now and use the code SMILE at checkout for free shipping.
We're back on The Spirit Drum here with our special guest, Tinamarie Ronan. Sharla, do you have anything for Tinamarie this evening while we're going through here?
Yeah, absolutely. And just a quick hello to Melissa Grubbs, who joined us as well.
Melissa? We got Joe Lewis was watching us too. Joe's part of Bonehead on the Bonehead team on Scarefest television. So thanks for watching, Joe.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. So Tina, I'm curious. So you have your paranormal investigating, you have your Reiki, and you have your work with stones. And I know the question was asked, do you ever combine the Reiki with the paranormal investigation? But do you ever combine the 3? And maybe since you already answered that, do you ever combine the Reiki with your stonework or your jewelry making, or do you bring in your stones into investigation? So tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm always wearing protection when I am out there doing investigating. I use a lot of hematite, obsidian, black kyanite. I know people go, "Oh, black stones, that's bad." No, actually, the most protective stones are black. So those are the ones you want to go for. So I usually have pieces on and that I wear them so when investigations to help with protection. And truthfully, how I actually got into doing the jewelry was doing chakra layouts in Reiki with stones. And people going, oh, I really like this stone. This would make a pretty pendant. And I kept thinking, yeah, it would. I need to do something with that. And that's how I actually got into the stones, was doing the chakra layouts with Reiki. So yeah, it all kinds, it's a path. When I look back over everything that I have done, and I see the path. I see what each thing that I learned or gathered information wise, that it was all part of a path. So yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So your path's going to take you someplace a little different. I hear it in the upcoming future. Something you and I have spoken about.
Oh yeah.
I love that sigh. I told you it was coming. I warned you.
Oh yes. No, you did. I actually was on the phone with Amanda today, and I'm going to go down on Wednesday. I had told Chris, and I have been talking. I have been being kind of pushed or brought to a conclusion, a crossroads for a couple of years. But I can honestly say I'm past the crossroads. I've taken the steps towards this now, so I'm no longer at a crossroads. I have wanted to work with Chris and learn the shamanic lifestyle. There are different things that I want to know about it. I want to learn. I want it to be a part of my life. And I've also have a very good friend, Amanda Keith. She is in Indianapolis, and she is a mambo. So she is a voodoo priestess, and she is a true mambo. And what she heard her husband do, their business, Three Crows Conjure, they're just good people. They help so many people. They have so many great products, and they do so many unbelievable things. I had gone to her house when I was at the crossroads about a year ago, and I just didn't know which way to go. I knew that I wanted the shamanism. I knew that Reiki was going to be a big part of my life, but I also felt that I was being pulled towards the spell work, the root work of voodoo, which I just was like, no, that's not me. I'm not going to do that. And I kept pushing back, just like I did with Reiki. I kept pushing back, and I kept getting messages. I kept getting things, going, talk to her, go to her, talk to her. And I'm like, no, I'm at a crossroads. I'm not sure. Until I started getting messages to the point where I would turn on the radio and I would hear the song from Bob Seger, Come to Papa. And, so Papa Legba. He is the guardian in the voodoo lifestyle of Crossroads. So to that point, I finally called her, went down and went to her house, and was actually able to sit in where she actually called in the Lewa, which is like the ancestors, the angels, the spirit guides. And wow, when they came in, it was just so powerful, and was actually able to sit at her table with the Lewa around us, and actually had Papa Legba come in. And that just blew my mind. And I think having that and being around that and being around her, it normalized it for me. It wasn't the big scary Hollywood thing that everybody thinks it is. And then talking to Chris and having that experience, it made me realize, okay, I can do this. For the very longest time, I knew that there was something that I had to do, that I'm meant to do, that I have the knowledge to do. I would like to take the healing of Reiki. I would like to take the spell work and the root work and the ancestor work and the shamanic lifestyle, that all the things that Chris does. And I really want to combine them together and create a whole new discipline. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. I can't tell you what it's going to be yet. I just know that Spirit has given me the knowledge of the ability to do that, to just pull it all together into one whole new discipline.
Definitely.
So,
well, I can't wait to find out what that's going to look like.
Me either. I think it's going to be something for a lot of people. And I think it's going to help a lot of people. And I think it's going to help a lot of different things in the world. That's my goal. So we'll see what comes of it.
Now, looking at it, so like a lot of people would say that, and you had the same, I think, initial reaction to this, is the voodoo, how does that mingle with the Reiki and, the shamanism? But if you break everything down, what is it? It's energy. And then you have spirit helpers, be they, whatever tradition you're with. And, some things get bad raps, and I think voodoo is one of them. And there's some very clean white stuff. Now, you can do some pretty wicked stuff in voodoo too, but you can do wicked stuff with anything. And, in magic and shamanism, there are tales of shamans who have gone bad and do wicked things and whatnot. So, I mean, it can have everybody. It's how you use the tools, and it's not the tools that control you. That's how your guides guide you now, and they, Sharla and I had Gwen Allen on a couple of months ago, and she's a voodoo mamba. And so we were talking about that, and, the guides they all got their own areas like other angels and guides do. And why not bring the families together? There's no reason why you can't. I mean, it all matters. And I don't care what you're doing. What's in your heart that matters. Okay, if you're working combat magic with somebody's hair, okay, I don't care. You're not following the Wiccan laws or the mad laws of magic. Your ego is taken over. But it's all, which is in your head. So it's all got to come from your heart. And if your heart is pure in what you're doing and what your intent is, and then there's nothing wrong with it. As long as you keep it, meld it the way it works, and so there's no cracks in it.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
Keep it a hundo.
It's funny, it's funny you say that, because that was one of the biggest things that Amanda had said. She goes, "It's all within the intention." And I was like, "Oh boy, it's like an echo."
I know. Yeah. It's the truth. I mean, I've seen people try to sell their way as the way and the good way, and it's whatever's your way is what's right. It's not somebody else's program. It's you. Doing what spirit tells you to do. I mean, I'm a white guy who practices Native American shamanism of one kind, and some people say I shouldn't do that, but I can't. I didn't go look for it. It came and looked for me, and so I do it because that's what I'm supposed to do, and that's all I can do. But it's in my heart, and I love it, and that's it. I'm not going to go into bad to anybody. I mean, or give it up, because that's just not what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. Agreed. Yeah. So it's big. It's going to take me years, but I just feel like this is the path for me. I looked back, and when I look forward, I see the path very clearly, and I see what I need to do, and I have the knowledge of how to do it. Now I have to learn all the other disciplines so I can pull them together.
Yeah. I mean, get all the knowledge you can, and just start. I just started doing so much better when I started cutting stuff down rather than making it bigger.
Right.
The simpler the better, because I had all kinds of things going. I just kind of condensed it. And,
there you go.
It's got couple different things from different places, but it's what I work with, and I keep it small.
It's going to be interesting once you do all this, and you combine everything, and what's going to be interesting is a follow-up interview, right? A follow-up question as to what at the bare essential of everything in your learning and on your path, what were the three common things, that all were associated with, if you boil it down to the most common element. What is that element? Is it love? Is it strength? Is it knowledge? Is it peace? Because I have a feeling as you're going to go on this journey that you're going to uncover these things, and you're going to have this, I'm envisioning this in my mind, and I don't know, maybe I'm just creating like some fantastical story, but I just have this feeling that you're going to have this aha moment and this awakening of, so that's it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really cool to watch happen.
I am. I'm excited because, like I said, I no longer feel like I'm on the crossroads. I've taken that step.
You're there.
I'm ready. I have found some fantastic teachers, and it's going to happen now.
Yeah. You made your deal, so it's time to walk the road. as they say.
Oh, yeah. But I'm ready. I've been preparing over the past year. I got all my Reiki students. My last group of people are going to this November go for a Reiki master teacher. And I've told them for the past 2 years, start preparing, get to the classes, because after this time, this will be the last one, because it's my time to learn and to walk the path. So
there you go.
Yeah,
it's your turn.
True.
It's your
Excellent,
turn.
excellent. Good stuff.
Yes.
Okay, we're going on to our last break of the evening. You're watching the Spirit Drum, and we'll be right back.
Coyote Chris Sutton.
Shamanism,
spiritual advisement,
paranormal investigations,
inspirational presentations,
bringing light to the darkest places for over 20 years. Go to coyotechris.com to learn more. Your love.
Spirit Drum, where we're talking with Tinamarie, and she is incredibly fascinating. And she's about to embark on this amazing journey that I cannot wait to watch from the comfort of my own home as she does all the work. And just a quick shout out, hello to Elena and Jenny, my friend Jenny, who just celebrated her birthday, is on. Hi, Jenny, happy birthday. And Mike Archer as well have joined us. So thanks, guys, for joining in. Yeah. So Darren says very interesting stuff tonight. So he's enjoyed it. And tell us about your pages and where we can find you and where our viewers can find you.
Certainly. I'm cheap, so everything's on Facebook where it's free. So, well, I have actually 4 different pages. The first one is Nature's Earthware, WARE. Again, it's on Facebook. The second one is Heirloom Haberdashery. Again, on Facebook. Heirloom Haberdashery is my steampunk jewelry and apparel. I do more than just steampunk, but I do a lot of hats, a lot of really cool hats. And this year you're going to see a lot more apparel. So you're going to see some really cool stuff coming out of that. And then my third company that I started, because apparently just having 2 was not enough. I started a third company with 2 friends, and it's called 3 Sisters Smudging. We do custom smudges. We do them for different events or different, if you want something that just smells good. Like we have one that smells like you just made mimosas and took a fried chicken out of the oven. It's just unbelievable the way some of these have come together and smelled. I have a lot of people who buy them and they just put them like on their car dashboard or on their fireplace mantle, because when they heat up, the whole room has this wonderful herbal smell. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. My last one is Illuminating the Paranormal. I actually have my own radio show. I am on ParaX, so you can find me Tuesday nights, Eastern Time, 8 to 9 p.m. and at ParaX, and it's called Illuminating the Paranormal, and I have all kinds of guests. In fact, my guest this coming Tuesday night is Ursula Lebowski. She has the Chicago Haunted Tours and Chicago Ghost Con. So yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet Ursula last year at I think we were in someplace in Illinois. I forget where, but no, wait a minute, was it SoCon? I think. Hell, I don't know. But I think
We
it was
were a
at
lot of
SoCon.
places last year.
I know. You know me, I can't remember shit anyway, so I know where I was.
Yeah, I've known Ursula for years. Yes.
But now you your haberdashery is some pretty unique stuff. I will say that. Now, as much as I appreciate the steampunk art, I don't wear much of it. But otherwise, I would get a hat. I'm more drawn to your other creations. But it is kind of neat looking stuff. I mean, it's it is. You gotta see them, Sharla. It's some pretty. You guys watch and just check it out. She does some neat things.
Something for everyone.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Especially if you're strange, you'll find something.
Are we all?
I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, so I just kind of did everything.
Well, so it works. Everything is something.
That's right.
It is, you just get stuff out there, and that's why I did that CD. I mean, that's just something I felt like I had to do.
Yeah.
Of course, when I go to sell them, the COVID hits, and I got they're sitting in my room here. So, but that's okay too. It's you got things change and you got to adjust and see what happens next time. And so if people want to buy your stuff, they can go to these sites and buy them.
They can. If you're on Facebook and you go to the site and there's something you like, just send me a private message. I'll check you out through PayPal and get it out to you in the mail.
There you go. So which needs a website with like a store in it.
I know. Everybody keeps telling me that, but but you know what? I'm on the road a lot. And
Yeah.
of course, with COVID, I'm down to only 3 or 4 different Paracons or festivals this year. But normally it's anywhere from 12 to 25, I think is the most I did in 1 year.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I'm everywhere. I travel all over the United States. I think West Coast, I haven't hit the West Coast yet, but everywhere else I've been.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's just totally cool. Let's see, look at my notes here. Psychics Unite. What's that all about? I've actually seen this, but I'm just saying that because people in the audience don't know. I know.
Yes, I also run the local chapter of Psychics Unite. It is a group that was started by Scotty and Terry Rourke, mainly because a lot of us, we are at these Paracons and people come up to us and they're like, listen, I've got something going on in my life. I don't know how to control it, or my child has disability and I don't know what to do for them. And we're usually there for the weekend. That's it. They might be in Kentucky and I live in northern Indiana, so I can't really help them. Well, our goal is that we want to have chapters all over the United States so that no matter where we are, if we meet up with somebody and they say, look, I need help or I need training or I'm just looking for someone to sit and chat with, because frankly, it gets lonely because not everybody's comfortable with sharing or coming out of a psychic closet. So if there's somebody that they can go and meet and hang out with. So with this chapter, our goal is that we can just pick up the phone and, call a local chapter and get them in touch with the person who needs help. And so I've actually was able to do that at Dark History and Horror last year. I had somebody who came up and she was looking at the metaphysical stuff, the stones, and started talking to me. She burst into tears. She's like, I just need help. I don't know how to control it. I'm like, oh, honey, hold on here. And I was actually, Becky, who actually runs the local chapter of Psychics Unite in Mattoon, Illinois, was actually there. So I grabbed Becky, pulled her over, and I said, look, here's somebody you can talk with, and she doesn't live that far away from you. And this person is actually a part of their group now.
Yeah.
The best part of having the group is when people come in, they're all tense, they're all like this, and they don't want to talk. By the end of the meeting, their shoulders are down, they're relaxed, they've exchanged phone numbers, they're on Facebook. They have people who they can talk to, people who understand. And it's not just for people with gifts, it's for people who even just are curious. We welcome you to the meetings.
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, Scotty actually and I talked about that one time. It's like I always got so much going on, but that's probably something I need to look at this year. Maybe it's been a good year for it, but it's maybe sometime we'll see about that. We got to spend the next couple minutes here. We only got a couple minutes left, and we wanted to. It's always hard to do this kind of thing. We lost 2 friends in the spiritual paranormal world in the last couple weeks. First one was Roland Gerardodis. He passed away. I want to say at the end of June, very beginning of July.
Yeah, it was. I think they were both in the same week.
And then Richard Rose. And they're both, I mean, Roland was really a sweet guy, and he and his wife Cynthia are part of Raven Rose Paranormal. Just one of those people that comes up to you, starts talking, and next thing you know, you're talking to him for 20 minutes. And he was just a sweetheart of a guy, and he loved it. I did some video work and stuff like that with him, but just a friendly dude. He just loved to talk about this stuff. There are various ideas about paranormal, about spiritual stuff. He was interested. He was also starting to get interested in shamanism at one time, and probably I think he still was. But yeah, I mean, he passed. I'm not going to go into details and things like that. But and then Richard got sick and passed away at 37. I think Roland was 50. Richard was 37, and and I like spending time. I like seeing him. I was glad to see him at events and things like that, and to say hello and talk for a while. And people have various types of relationships with Richard, but to me, he was funny and he was always nice to me, and
he was a good guy.
Nice to him. Yeah. So yeah, so you knew those guys. What are your thoughts? I mean,
I was blown away. Especially to all the people out there who still think that this is just a big conspiracy. Guys, it's not. It's for real. And you're going to start having more and more, unfortunately, people and friends that that are going to be passing away from it.
Yep.
So please, if you're willing to, wear the mask. Maybe not for you, but for somebody else. Wear it for them.
Yeah.
Keep them safe.
Yeah, it's so important. I understand about individual rights and things like that, but if you can save somebody's life by putting a piece of cloth over your mouth,
well,
exactly.
It's really not that hard.
No.
It's really not that hard. You don't see
No.
people freaking out because you have to wear shoes and a shirt.
No.
Right.
You don't see people freaking out because crying about their rights because you have to wear a seatbelt. It's just something you do. It's something you do for safety, and it's a very. I think some folks are taking it to the extreme in that it's about them, but it's not. When we start losing people, and I get it. The flu numbers or whatever they are, and I'm not going to launch into a political rant about this, but I just think that it would really help if everybody just kind of took a breath and just took it to heart and thought about think it through. Think it through.
Well, it's not just best for you, but best for your family and best for your neighbors and other loved ones and just people in general.
Yeah.
You can be a hero just by wearing this on your face, not even know it. And why not? Why not be a hero if you can be?
Or just don't go where they are requiring masks. There's plenty of other places to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you look at the taverns around where I live in Illinois, we were closed longer than most places and been doing pretty good. But I go by bars and they should be outside and they're not. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
But most people, I go someplace and everybody's got masks on. So it's not so bad. I know some places.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
It's not good here.
Yeah.
And we're one of the top 10 in Elkhart, Indiana.
Yeah.
We're one of the top 10 places because people just will not. They're starting to demand it, but they're not pushing the enforcement. But then people have their own liberties, so they can make their own decisions. But do it for your friends, do it for your grandparents.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's for sure. That's definitely for sure. Well, Tinamarie, thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure having you with us. And
thank you.
It's so much fun. And Sharla and I are so lucky. Every time we get somebody on here, we learn something new, or it's just we get taught stuff, and I enjoy that. And
I understand. That's what it is with my show too.
And so it's we're blessed to have you on, and we certainly appreciate it. Sharla, any parting words for you?
Yeah, thank you so much for being on tonight. And again, I'm really super excited to watch your journey and to see what happens from all of this. And thanks for everything that you've done, for the community. I mean, you've had a hand in a lot of different things, and with your show and your expertise, and helping others on their spiritual journey. It's hard to say. Helping others on their spiritual journeys. You never know. You could be saving somebody's life. You could be pointing them in a totally different direction. And so thank you for the work that you do. It's incredibly valuable.
Thank you.
And thanks to all of our listeners, our viewers tonight.
Yeah.
I just switched back into girls versus ghost mode where it's audio only. Thanks to all of our viewers tonight. And as always, thank you to Wes and Anita Forsyth and their amazing production skills, and for letting us have a home here on their network at Scarefest TV.
That we couldn't do without Wes and Anita, that's for sure. And so we're always grateful to them. Well, folks, again, like Sharla said, thank you so much for watching, and The Spirit Drum will be back next month with another guest, and so keep your eye on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff about the next show, and that will be the second Friday in August. I forgot the exact date. I know, I think it's the 12th or something, but don't quote
We're just spirit drumming through the year, aren't we?
I know. Once a month. But anyway, again, blessings to you all. Glad you're here, and we'll see you next time here on the Spirit Drum.
Bye, everybody. Thank you,
Bye.
Tinamarie.
C-Saucium, 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 Yatch cow high, Yatch cow high, Yatch cow high, Yatch cow high.